Hey guys, wow, it's been a long time since I sat down and filmed in front of this camera. It's been like 2-3 months. So, I started YouTube making videos just for fun, and so I figured I can't commit myself to like a schedule or anything, and I'm working now, so it's just like hard to make videos and stuff because I do it like when I have time and stuff, and I just haven't had time lately, you know, like with school starting and everything, had the workload. And then what this video is mainly about is the passing of my boyfriend Steve, which I will explain. And so, you know, it's just been like really hard and everything. So I met Steve, my boyfriend, in the very beginning of September when I started school. I'm a sophomore and he was a senior. And Steve is the first boy that I really liked. You know, like I don't get attached easily, and it was just very different with him and Steve. Okay, I'm gonna explain. Like I can't even like explain him in words. He was just such a great person, and I think I was so like attracted to him because he was honestly just the nicest person. He never had anything bad to say about anyone. He was good at everything he did, even if he had just like tried it, you know, like the first time. He was just really good at everything, and he's so good to me, and like he treated me like how a girl should be treated, and that's like very hard to find nowadays. And so we had dated for almost 2 months, and I know that that's not a long time, but for the amount of time we were together all the time, and so in that amount of time you really get to know someone. So yeah, he had a heart condition. He had an enlarged heart. His dad died at 38 from it, so he was passed on that gene. So I was at work on Saturday, and I get a text from my friend saying, is everything okay with Steve? And I was at work. I had just started a new job, and so like, you know, I can't really be on my phone. So I was like, yeah, why? Like I had just talked to him like an hour ago. And she's like, I heard he had a heart attack. And I was like, what? And like all of a sudden I was like, oh no, because like I knew that he had like the heart problems. And so she then sent me his best friend Jamie tweeted something like prayers needed for Steve, and I was like, oh my god. And so I left work and went to the hospital, and when I got to the hospital I really had to go to the bathroom, so I went in to use the bathroom, and my mom came in, and everyone was like sitting outside in the waiting room, like his friends and stuff, not his family. And she came in, and I was like, no, like you can go back out, like I'll be out in a second. I opened the door, and the look on her face, I knew, and that he died. And he had a heart attack at the gym. They worked on him for an hour and a half at the hospital, and they couldn't save him. And to hear those words, I can't even explain. I was in complete and utter shock, and I went like running out of it screaming, no he's not. Like couldn't even like digest what I had just been told. And I was screaming, and then they like quit putting me back in the bathroom because like, you know, like I was horror screaming. It was yeah, to like hear someone that you're so close to gone out all of a sudden, like what? Like how did, like, you know, like take the closest person in your life and have them gone tomorrow. Like how do you deal with that? It's unbelievable. So it's been a big change, and so that's why I haven't really been in the mood also to film. I've just been very down, and this video, like, you know, I've gone back and forth in my head wanting to make it just because it's hard to talk about it when I really haven't like sat down and strictly talked about it. But it's definitely, the first week's been really hard. He died on November 22nd. And I feel like his life was so well planned out. On September 22nd, he made a status on Facebook, and it said, only the good die young. And then his birthday, he had just turned 18, October 22nd, and a month later, on November 22nd, he passed away at 3:22. And I kid you not, every time I look at the clock, it has ended in 22. It's like 6:22, 8:22. Like, it's not just like once or twice, like it's been 20, 30 times now when I look at the clock. Just before I sat down to film this video, I looked at the clock, 6:22. And so I feel like, in a way, he's like there saying that he's okay. And so it's very, very hard when he was so loved by everyone. Like, he's just one of those kids that everyone liked and had like a connection to. You know, he went out of his way. Like, he didn't care who you were. He'd talk to you about anything. And, you know, he never changed for anyone. He was always Steve. Like, there was no filter, you know, nothing. He was a great boyfriend. Like, great. And we were just starting to get to the point where we were really getting used to each other, you know. He'd always come over and we'd go running and we'd cook and stuff. And it's all gone. And I didn't know how to handle it the first week, and I didn't eat for like 3 days, and like I just wanted to curl up in a ball and just sleep because I didn't want to be awake because I would just cry. Friends can help, but they couldn't understand fully, and sleeping would just get my mind off of things. But then when I wake up, because like you're so vulnerable, it would be horrible. And yeah, so it's just been very hard for me. I mean, I've been with his friends and gone to see his family and stuff, which has helped because those people can relate. They know him the best. But yeah, so that's where I've been. And you know, I wanted to make this video talking about, you know, a loss, because I have also lost someone very close, which was my grandma in 3rd grade, and I was younger at the time, and I was very close to her, but it's a lot different when you're older and can kind of recognize more what happened. And so I just wanted to say, you know, grieving isn't a bad thing, you know, it's part of the whole thing, but if anything I can take out of it is to just be a nice person. You know, he was so nice and like had a positive outlook. You know, if it'd be raining, he'd be like, well, you know, like it's good sleeping weather, you know, like anything. I don't know, there was just a positive answer like to everything. And so you know, I know to look for someone who's gonna treat me the way a girl should be treated, and he definitely set the standards high, no doubt about that. And now seeing like all of his like college acceptance letters and stuff that his mom's posting on Facebook, it's like, why isn't he here? You know, I went through like, I mean, it's not even been a month, so I'm still dealing with everything. It's really hard, but seeing like, I just don't understand, you know, like I ask like, why him? Like, why did God take him so young, so good? But it happened, and I don't think I'll be like ever able to accept why it happened, but it did. And so you just have to move forward. And I mean, it's so hard to say that because, you know, but you just got to move forward, and you have to take, you know, what he taught you. Or this goes for anyone, you know, if anyone's have a loss or is going to that you don't even know, and this video helps at all, just talking about it, hearing like that you're not alone, you know. But dealing with the loss, like, you have to take what that person taught you and then somehow try and portray it in a positive way, which I'm definitely gonna do. I don't know how, but just my outlook on everyone, you know. I've always not been afraid to like talk to like anyone, you know, like I don't care who you are or what your popularity status is, you know, like I'll go up to anyone. And but I feel like I kind of like forgot to do that sometimes, and so just like it just reminded me, you know, everyone's different, and just see the good in people as opposed to the bad. But I got to speak at his funeral, and I said something that I was very proud of that I wrote, and I waited till like 1 a.m. the night before the funeral to sit down and write it. But I wanted to share with you guys a dream that you had. You know, I don't know if you believe in God or not, or what you believe, but I feel like this has like reassured in a way that there is something beyond life, because so I had a dream last night that I was in this big cathedral. Like, I don't know if you guys know the one in New York, I forget what it's called, but it's like the really big pretty one. It was a cathedral like that, like very, very pretty inside, and I was like standing there, and there was this long hallway, and at the end there was Steve in his like casket laying down, and he was like kind of going like this with his hand, and you know, he was still like asleep, like he looked like how a person who passed away should look, but he was going like this with his hand. And I remember like running down this aisle, running over to him, and he just sat up, and his eyes were still shut and everything, and he just hugged me and like pulled me down, and that's the dream that I had. And so like I feel like in a way, like seeing the 22s all the time, and like seeing like, or dreaming that like that, it was just so like real and made me like kind of at ease in a way. And I had another dream about him a few nights ago, that I saw him in heaven, and he just looked so peaceful, and I just feel like with that I'm just almost at peace, and like I feel like I have a little angel above me. And his dad, I don't know if everyone called his dad Superman or what, but I know he had something in his heart that was helping with his heart, because he had the heart condition too, but they called him Superman, and so he had a Superman symbol tattoo. And Steve, about a week before he died, had just gotten the Superman symbol, and so he like kind of died a part of his dad on him. And so at his funeral, you know, everyone wore Superman stuff. I have a Superman bear that his sister got me, and just everything, you know. Here was, I don't know if you can see or not, but this was a picture when we went and got his tattoo and stuff, just sitting there, you know, his hands like resting on my knee. And it's hard because I feel like people expect me to like cry, but I've smiled and been more happy like looking back on like all the times that we've had than I've cried, you know. Like I definitely had that period where I just cried and cried and cried, but definitely like happy that I got to know him. I know I would feel guilty in a way for not being sad, and then I would feel guilty if I was happy, because I feel like I shouldn't be happy, but I know that that's what he would want. But you know, I asked myself like why am I happy? But you know, it's not a bad thing to be happy, you know. Steve wouldn't want me to be sad, he'd want me to be like, yeah, like we had a good time, you know. And so if you're dealing with a loss or anything, just know that I mean, I can't say it gets better, but it eventually with time gets easier, definitely, but it will never be the same, but just know that it gets easier. So hopefully with school, I have like a 2-week break coming up for Christmas and stuff, so hopefully I'll be able to get a few videos up if I have time and stuff. But thank you guys for sticking with me. I know I have over 3,000 subscribers now, which is like mad cool, because when I started I was like freaking out when I got like 100, and now that there's like 3,000 people like watching and stuff, it's just cool. So thank you guys. And again, if you guys are ever dealing with anything, I'm here to talk. I'm around a lot, kind of lonely right now, so if you guys ever need anything, you know, you can inbox me, Instagram, Facebook. Well, I don't have Facebook, but any, you know, you guys know. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching and listening, and sorry I haven't been around, but you know, I've just been dealing with a lot, so love you guys.